Welcome to the Showgirl Connection. I'm your host, Luann. Today in the studio, I have with me Ramona Shaw. So Ramona danced in the big Las Vegas stage show spectaculars, Jubilee, Hallelujah Hollywood, and City Lights. And today, if you're looking for Ramona, you can find her throughout the valley, and she sings in 3 different choirs.
Yes, I do. Keeps my mind active.
Please welcome to the studio, Ramona Shaw.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here with me today.
Thank you.
So usually I just like to start out with, how you came to Vegas, maybe your dance training.
I started at 6 years of age doing ballet, tap, and modern, started all those very young.
Where'd you grow up?
In Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
And it's a very artsy city, so there's a lot of theater, music, dance, and my mom was a singer. So,
oh, she was?
Yes. So it was kind of a natural thing. We had piano lessons and dance lessons and singing lessons. Yes. So.
And didn't you say you sang in the choir?
Yes, the church choir.
The church choir.
Mm-hmm. And we had a really good conductor who worked with the Minnesota Orchestra and Garrison Keillor and all that. So he did a lot.
Garrison Keillor?
Yes. He was like the music director for him.
Wow.
So he did a lot of, the big masterworks.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of education on that. We sang with Aaron Copeland and Dave Brubeck and different people like that.
So that's why you're singing in 3 choirs today.
Yes.
So
I love it, and reading music's always been easy for me, so it's fun.
So what 3 choirs are you singing in?
It's Myron Heaton Chorale, Southern Nevada Musical Arts Society, and then the Community Lutheran Church Choir on Sunday mornings.
Wow. With
Keith Thompson and Phil Fortenberry.
So that keeps you busy.
Yes, it does.
Didn't you just come back from Europe? Didn't you?
Yes, Myron Heaton Chorale, we went to Paris, then Munich, Salzburg, Vienna, Florence, and then Rome, and we sang in cathedrals in all of those places.
Wow.
So that was very exciting to
Yeah.
hear all that echoing in those beautiful old cathedrals. It was quite an experience.
So how many of you sang?
There was about 30 of us that went.
Oh, that's a good size.
Yeah, it was a good size. And we had our black outfits, and we performed, and the people were very receptive because they were from all different countries. We just had to remember whether to say we, see, or
but you sang.
Yeah, for yes. We were in so many countries. It was like, where are we?
But were you singing in songs in English or?
Some of them were in Latin, and depending on whatever pieces we had to do. We did 2 masses, so we sang the beginning, the offertory, the communion, and then the final. And a lot of us aren't Catholic, so it was an interesting experience,
Yeah.
as to when we were standing and sitting and what we were supposed to. It was great. It was very
really
hot
fun.
over there at that time of year, and a lot of people. But
Did they have air conditioning?
No, not really.
Well, you're from Vegas. You're tough.
Exactly.
So I jumped ahead because
Sure.
usually we talk about how you got to Vegas, but singing.
Well, so I sang in a lot of choirs growing up and did
Yeah.
a lot of theater, and then I went to the University of Minnesota, and I got my first Bachelor of Arts degree in theater.
Okay.
And I sang like in a huge choir there, 300 voices, and again we performed with Dave Brubeck, so he got to be my buddy. No, I had a lot of fun with him. So
Hey, can you call him up? Maybe you can come onto my show.
There you go.
He's your buddy.
And so I did that all along, and then after I finished, I danced with Minnesota Dance Theater a little bit, just apprentice, and Antaze Ballet, but I was too tall,
Yeah.
and so
How tall are you?
I was 5'10". I think I've shrunk a little bit, but I was 5'10",
Okay.
which was good for the dancing because I was tall of the shorts and short of the talls.
Well,
so I
we'll
was
have
right
to
in the
explain that
Yes,
because people
yes.
will be like, "What the heck is
What
she
is she talking about?
So
When I graduated and got my degree, I did stuff around town, and including working at a florist shop, which I thought, this isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I drove out to California, and I was at a place in San Diego called Stage 7,
Yeah.
taking classes. First we had
Well, so
6
why
weeks.
why did you pick San Diego? Did you have friends there?
I knew some people there, plus I love San Diego, and I was a little frightened to go right to LA,
Yeah.
because, I was like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Pretty daunting.
yeah, so I took classes there, a lot of jazz, which there wasn't that much of it in Minneapolis, so I took those classes, and I met Gary Gardy, who became a very good friend of mine, and still is, and he was a dancer, of course. He was one of my teachers and all that, and so one day we all decided there were auditions for Hallelujah Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we decided to drive on up to Las Vegas. So it was a guy named Norman and Gary and we drove up, and we stayed at the Algiers, which doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
It was a little hotel kind of down by
the Stardust.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the La Concha and all those were, it
Yeah.
was a teeny, with little motels and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh.
And so
Yeah.
the first day we went, and I still had, leotard and tights, even some opened heeled ones because of the modern dance, just normal dance stuff, none of this Las Vegas.
No fishnets.
Nope, and I didn't have my leotard pulled up, it was just normal.
Yeah.
So we did some combinations and stuff, and then they said they wanted us to stay. Well, they wanted us in a bikini. I didn't have a bikini, so I went down to Paula D's French room downstairs at the MGM, which is now Bally's, which is now the Horseshoe, and went
And
down
you bought
there,
a bathing
found
suit?
myself a bikini and some tights, and so I'd be ready for the
fishnet tights.
No, I had to
Still?
just wear, because they didn't have any fishnets, so
Yeah.
I was like, so then the next day we had more dancing and turns and all this stuff, and they pulled us to the side and they called people forward, and I thought the people they were calling forward, they were hiring.
Yeah.
And when the gal says, no, I think we're being kept.
Kept.
And so 6 of us out of 60 got picked that day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was for Hallelujah Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so then I did that until it closed, and I knew you from Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't know each other well,
No,
but we knew each
because
other.
we were in
but-
different groups.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's how I ended up there, and it was so funny. On the drive across, I had the old blue Chevy that was my family's car. Broke down every day, so I had fortitude, that's for sure, on the way down to San Diego and then back, and just went with the flow, and I'm so glad I did it, because who knows what I would have been doing otherwise. And then I did
Yeah.
Hallelujah all the way till it closed, and then we kind of had audition for Jubilee again, so I did,
Yeah.
and then I did Jubilee from the very beginning.
So that's right. So well, to remember, I mean, we were dancing at night and
Yep.
rehearsing during the day
Yep,
for Jubilee.
for sure.
I mean, those were long days. I mean, those were like 16-hour days.
Yes, very long.
Yeah.
And
And then remember when we finally got to the point where they had closed Hallelujah Hollywood, and then we could rehearse on the stage
during the day, yeah.
during
yeah.
the day,
Yep. And then the fire. So.
and then the fire.
And during that time, so many people, my mom always came for Christmases to
Yeah.
get out of the snow. So I thought, oh, I'll spend time with her. And by the time I decided to go look, everybody had taken all the other dancing jobs, while the theater
You're
was
right,
being
because
rebuilt.
people were I remember the other shows on the Strip were trying to have spaces open
for
because
dancers.
there
yeah.
was like 130 dancers and
Yes.
singers.
And so many normal jobs or other jobs knew you were going back to dancing, so they didn't really want
Yeah.
to hire anybody. So
Yeah.
I kind of just spent time with my mom, which was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because it was about 8 months, wasn't it?
It
before-
was till July
Yeah.
is when it reopened and all that.
Yeah.
And I know with the costumes and stuff, stories about how they had to take off all the jewels, all the crystal and everything, so that they could keep it and put it on the new costumes, because you in that amount of time you can't just get all of that again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, it was interesting because I had Diana Eden in here, and she was part of the crew
For sure.
for
with
costuming.
Pete Menefee.
And so
Bob
she
Mackey.
had some costume sketches, because she said that everything, it was like this was the Bible, were the costume sketches, and everything was on this piece of paper. So, like, for instance, she brought me she brought me my costume sketch, which I really loved.
Oh, that's a great costume.
And then she's got, the hat size, shirt size.
Look at that.
Right? And
Oh.
then it shows that she marked off my name because I never came back to Jubilee. I went to the Lido. And then it looked like we were trying to read, did you know Corinne?
I think it's Carolyn.
Carolyn Bessed?
It looks kind of like that. I remember that costume. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So, and actually this costume is the Showgirl Legacy Foundation's logo. And I had, all these are at the Special Collections Department. All the sketches are at the Special Collections Department. The Sue
Perfect.
Kim, right?
So they're safe.
But I
Okay.
remember I emailed Bob Mackey and asked him for permission to use this as a logo, and I got his blessing.
Oh, that's
So she showed me that. She was really excited. And she goes, I found this other one. And she said,
Uh-oh.
we scratched off your name and Ramona Shaw.
Oh, my goodness.
So you got my costume. And I did not know that.
I didn't know
I
that.
had no idea.
I never did either.
And when she was on, I said, I'm going to have Ramona Shaw on too. And she goes, you have to show this to Ramona. In fact, I think I had told her I was going to have you on, so she found that. And how cool is that?
Isn't that something that we would have had the same costume and we didn't even know
We
it?
didn't even know it.
And we've become such good friends,
right?
which is just...
Right, but I guess, they probably took my name out of the costume and put your name in there, so you would
Sure.
never have known. But you got one of my costumes because you were talking about how you were a cover dancer at the beginning.
And then
that's-
after the fire,
Yeah.
I switched. Yep.
Then you switched to dancing nude.
Yep.
And then you did more than just dancing nude.
I did everybody.
Yeah, talk about that. And you have some great stories. You have to tell us some funny stories because you were
Always doing something.
always doing something. I wasn't going to say that.
Well, I started out
Or
doing...
let's just tell the audience because they might not know, what a swing is.
The swing is a person who takes the places of other people who have permanent spots where they do the same thing every night. And so the swing does each person their spots so they can either be on vacation or if they're sick or just on their night off.
Yeah, because the show used to be 7 days a week.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so there were swings that would do it just when it was your night off, and then there was a vacation swing who did people so they could go on vacation. And I started out in Hallelujah, I was covered the whole time. Then before the fire in Jubilee, I was covered. And then after the fire, I wanted to stay a swing because it was more interesting to me. So they said, well, you'll have to be, well, you don't have to, it's your choice, but you need to be a nude. And I went, okay. So I started as a tall nude, which is the tall nudes, tall people. And I was on the shorter end, but still tall enough. And
Yeah,
I
my
did-
group was between 5'10" and 6'2".
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
And then after I did that for about 2 years, then they switched me to the short nudes, which were the shorter people, and I was tall there, but not too tall, so I could do both of those. So I knew all these numbers in both rooms, so that was all of them. And then they asked me to be captain of the Bluebells. This was years later, which means you teach everybody and you tell them where they are every night and you take care of them and be a swing. So then I learned all the Bluebell numbers. And then as time went on, I did singers. And so by the time I left, I was there a long time. By the time I left in 91, I'd done everybody in the show except the guys. Because they wouldn't let me. So it was a lot of fun, but my mind just works that way, I guess. And plus, I don't get scared. Because I had, like in Vienna,
Yeah.
one of the numbers was big hoop skirts, and we're doing triplets. And the boys would just call my name like, Ramona. And I'd triplet over to this guy, and we'd do our thing, and then the note, Ramona. And I'd triplet over there. So it was a lot of fun. Stuff would fall off. I did a cartwheel once in one of the numbers, and my wig fell off as I was cartwheeling, so I grabbed it and threw it back on my head by the time I came back up. And it was great because it was on my head, but it was a little crooked. So I was
But
kind
at
of...
least they couldn't see your ponytail
Exactly.
and all your hair
Exactly.
pinned up.
Yeah, so, you just go with the flow.
Oh, yeah,
Stuff
didn't
falling
you-
off, There was a number called boxes, and because I was a swing, I had to do different boxes. Well, the stagehands would put them in the wrong place, So the curtain's getting ready to come up, and I'm like, is there an empty box somewhere? And they go, over here. And I'd run over there and get to do the spot, you know. And sometimes there wouldn't be one, so you'd just lay down.
You lie down so nobody can
Yeah, because
see
the
you.
audience couldn't see you then. You'd lay down behind all the boxes, and you'd lay there while everybody was doing the number. And one time, I was on my way to the box, and the curtain was coming up, so I did the first movement, walking over to the box. And just go with the flow.
Yeah,
you
see,
know.
a lot of people couldn't do that.
Costumes fall off, you just keep going. Wigs, hats. One time I went, in Titanic, and the hat fell off my head.
Didn't you like get stuck on somebody else's?
Oh yeah, in Hallelujah, Hollywood.
Yes.
There was a number we did where we did a big back bend, and Beatrice, who was my captain, we would do big back bends when we did it. And we had a half turn, and I did a full turn. So we ended up where our hats had all these jewels and wires and stuff, and our hats got hooked. So we were hooked, and we're like trying to get our hats undone. We finally got them undone, but trying to look all like that's the way it's supposed to be, and then go off, you know. So we had a lot of fun. You know what I love the best about all this is that
What did you love the best about all this, Ramona?
all these years later, we're all still friends. It's like 30,
Yes.
40 years, and we see each other, and we have so much fun, and it's like we never left.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
Luann and I have become such good friends, and like we didn't know each other that well in
No.
Hallelujah, but
No,
yeah, but
and we were even trying to remember each other in Hallelujah Hollywood. I mean, I vaguely remember you, but there were casts of over 100 people. So if you were in a different group, and if you were covered and I was a nude,
you didn't really see each other
No.
or even be on stage at the right time.
Right.
Exactly.
right. So it is, and that's another fun thing about, or we were in Jubilee, but. Well, I really wasn't in Jubilee. I was in rehearsals for Jubilee. But
Yeah.
you run into people because that show ran for 35 years, we were in Jubilee, but at different times.
Exactly.
Like, so many of us were in the same shows, but at different times.
Well, that's like speaking about costumes.
Yeah.
Luann and I did the Follies, Stephen Sondheim's Follies, not the one on the
With
strip,
Tom
but
Michelle
the actual.
and David James.
Yes, the
Robinson,
actual,
yeah.
musical. And we were both in that, and the girl who is my ghost, because we're older, we're the legendary Showgirls.
Yes.
And the girls that were our ghosts, which would be us as younger people. The girl, Bex, who was my ghost, was in Jubilee, and she wore the costume that I wore it. It was a purple costume originally when it was brand new. I wore it. Then she wore it when she was in the show, and then she ended up being my
Oh.
ghost. So
Wow.
it's just like this.
Kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Wow.
You know.
That is so cool.
So that's a lot of fun. you
Yeah.
know, and just seeing people, and I just went and saw. I did Charlie's Aunt, the play, in like 1972 in Minneapolis,
Uh-huh.
and I was Charlie's Aunt, that character, and they were just doing it at Coronado, and they told all the young kids that I was out there, and they were so cute, and they did a really good job, and they're like, oh. You were Donna Lucia, and I said yes, I was, and
Uh-huh.
they were just so thrilled that this old lady.
Still thinks we're young.
Yes.
It's those wonderful Showgirl connections.
Oh, it is.
Right.
I'm still doing Showgirl stuff. I mean, we did that Follies, and Bex, the girl who was my ghost, she did a music video. So she asked me, one day I was a grandma, so I had, a little duster and slippers and a walker, and getting up, I did the 3 times trying to get up, and like a grandma would do. And then the next day I was a grandma showgirl. So she had a hat and some costumes, but she wanted me to wear fishnets and dance pants and a top. And I'm like, are you kidding me? At my age? And she's like, no. So I did it, and I've seen pictures, and it's not too bad.
I bet you were fabulous. But
And I had to put makeup on again.
We need to take a quick commercial break.
Sure.
But we'll come back, and then we'll transition into what you're doing now that you're out of the shows. And maybe talk a little bit about City Lights too.
Oh yeah, that's
Because were you an
fun.
ice skater in City Lights?
Well, I was, yes. but
Okay, well,
not
so
really.
don't go away, because Ramona's going to talk about being in City Lights as an ice skater, and she's really not an ice skater. So we'll be back after this commercial break.
Two.
So we're back in the studio with Ramona Shaw, and we're going to continue on talking about, well, I was going to say let's talk about what you did after the shows, but I have to hear about City Lights, because City Lights was an ice skating show.
Yes, there was dance numbers, but skating numbers. And I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so you'd think I knew how to skate. Well, I did, but only at the rink where you just skate, do. You know.
So
I
you had done some.
I'd
You've had ice skates
skated,
on before.
yes, but
yeah.
never did, take lessons.
Yeah.
Because I was doing dance lessons, so I never really learned how to do it. And then when I went for the audition, the only skates I had were the skates I always had, and they were white, and they were taller than what most people wear now.
Yeah.
And all the skaters there went, oh, those are like Sonia Henney skates, which she's like the 50s or 60s or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, they probably are. I don't know. So I had to buy new skates and everything. But so I did the stuff like the swizzles and,
So you were a showgirl.
Yes, I had to be a showgirl because
Yeah.
I didn't know how to skate well
Yeah.
enough. But I always had this big smile when I'm performing, and I feel so comfortable.
Were you
Well,
a showgirl with Dulcie?
No, she wasn't there then.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
she'd already left,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, 'cause
Because
she
it was like 91. It was,
Oh, all right.
a lot of the people I know, like Jamie was in it, and they were all gone already.
Okay.
But on my Gene was there in the audience, and he said, I always had this smile, but he could tell that night I was kind of like this.
Grimacing.
Because we had these big hoop skirts, and if you fell down, you could not get up again. They just have to grab you and drag you off. And I thought, I'm not getting dragged off.
So you never fell down?
I never fell down, but I was just like silent, but I was
How
very
many years
nervous.
were you in that show?
Just about a year.
Okay.
Yep, just
Yeah.
a year. And then another one was a big geisha thing, and we're right up on the, right by the audience while they're changing sets behind a curtain.
Yeah.
And we had to turn to the back and turn to the front, you do a little push. And I thought, I'll push myself right onto someone's table. I didn't, but I was worried. So that was an experience. And then there were some dance numbers, which of course I was,
Oh, then you were dancing without skates.
yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So that was your last show.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel about that being your last show?
It was hard.
Were you planning on it to be your
I
last
planned.
show?
I told you in Minneapolis I got my first BA. Well, all that time I was doing Jubilee. I got a second BA, and then I got a master's of education degree. So I had plenty of education and stuff that I did during that, and so I was prepared to do other things.
Yeah.
So it was more just the feeling of something that you love and you've done all your life, to stop doing it. It's just like football players or athletes when they do something they've done
Yeah.
all your life.
So why did you leave Jubilee and go to City Lights?
Because it was funny. I just decided it was time to go because I was 43 when I left. So,
Jubilee?
Yes.
Whew, and that's a hard show.
Yep. So I just decided, before they tell me to go, I better go.
And you were
so-
there 10 years?
Well, I was there 76 to 91, so that's Hallelujah and then Jubilee. So I guess since 81 to, 10 years
Wow.
in that one. Yeah,
So
doing
then,
all
then
this
you go
fun.
from Jubilee to ice skating.
Well, I saw auditions and I thought, I'll give it a try. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, they hired me just
So,
because,
What did Fluff say when you told her you were leaving?
I think she felt, she said, because she knew I swung so many spots and helped out and all that she would miss me, but she understood,
Yeah.
She definitely understood, so.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, though, on my last night, all my girls went in, and they said, the girls in the room I was the captain for, they went into Fluff because I wouldn't have asked her, but they asked if I could do one of the white finale walk-downs. There were 3 principal dancers
Bob Mackie costumes.
that came down in these huge white, beautiful costumes. They were all
Yeah.
different, and they all walked down at the end for the final. And they asked if I could do one of them, and she said yes. So I got to do one of them, but the only thing was, they just told me in the dressing room, oh, it's so many steps here and so many of that. I'd never had the costume on a day in my life. So I get dressed downstairs next to these getaway stairs, we called it, that took us to the top of the big stairs. So they get me dressed there. I've just been told, but not ever done it on the stage. And I'm going up these getaway steps, and you have to go sideways. And as I'm waiting for my cue, I'm thinking, why did I say yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I better not fall down, So then
And how
it
much do you
came
think
time,
that-
and then I went out.
And you were fabulous.
And did
So how much do you think that costume weighed?
Oh, it was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It was very, yeah.
Yeah.
And you definitely had to, you didn't look down, so you had to feel the stairs because you never looked down.
Yeah.
That's when I got older, that was harder to do, When I just did this follies, I was like the not looking and having the balance that we had.
That was, I agree,
Yes.
that was
When
really...
we were young, it was no problem.
Yeah, we
but
didn't even think twice about it.
we
And,
just-
and the Stephen Sondheim's Follies stairs, what were they, maybe 10?
Exactly, compared to what we
c-
did.
Compared to 3 stories?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, those were like,
Yeah.
we just were running up and down those stairs all the time.
And it was fun too because Fluff was out there watching, and she had a little bit of tears in her eyes. And
Aw.
the guy was the principal singer. We stepped back with two of the guys, and I stepped kind of too big and up on one of the steps and just kind of came back down. And then when we were stopped at the end, we were a little forward with that big costume, so he had me step back so it didn't come, on my head and
Yeah.
knocked me to the ground. But it was great fun. I got flowers, and it was a lot of fun. So I think I'm done, and I get a call at my house, and Jean says, "Ramona, it's Fluff," and I'm like, "What? What does she want?" He goes, "Take the call." Well, one of the singers was going to be out for 6 months with surgery. So she asked if I'd be a chorus singer, and then one of the singers would be, even though I sang, but one of the singers would be her spot. So I did that for 6 months.
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect.
That was Sally Mittling. And then
Yes.
the next time it was Tina Walsh.
Yes.
And so she was out for 6 months. So I did another 6 months as a singer. And then
So this was after you
after
did
I
City
quit.
Lights.
no, this was
Oh, okay.
before I left.
Okay.
Yeah, this was after I stopped doing what I thought it was going to be it.
Yeah.
And she called me, and so she called me then for Tina, and then a girl dancer was going to be out for something for 6 months. So I ended up doing a year and a half.
More.
Yeah, and I wasn't a captain or a swing or anything. I was just
Well, it's nice to transition when you're 43 into
Yeah.
doing the singing roles because
Yeah.
you're doing some, balances and step turns, but you're not dancing really hard.
exactly. So it's more relaxing, and I was very thin then too. I don't know what happened, but
So
I'm not anymore.
So I know how much, that's the one thing, you have such a great personality for swinging too, because you can laugh and and that was, if you were in a show for 10 years, you had to make it
Well, that's what made it
every
interesting.
night. You had
Because
to
I
make
never
it,
knew what I was doing every night. And in
Yeah.
fact, one night there was, it was a living curtain,
Yeah,
and I'd never done that room. That was the Sharp Bluebells. And they taught me down in the basement, like at 15 minutes before the show. So during the other numbers, I'm going through it in my head. And luckily I was in the second line, so I could, oh, they're going left. Oh, it's time for a kick.
Yeah.
And so, and I played the harp on that, which I know enough about music, I could fake the harp. Because there's all different
yeah,
with
yeah.
Samson and Delilah.
So I was going to say you've got a great personality because when we were in Stephen Sondheim's Follies, and it's always that making things new and exciting and laughing. There was a number with Clint Holmes and Kelly.
Yep.
What were they? Something about rain.
Yeah, with the umbrellas.
Yeah.
I can't remember
I
the
can't
song,
remember the song either. But so Ramona's standing beside me, and
and
I
we
don't
were
know
just
why I
standing
was
there,
surprised.
And I gave her a little pinch, and
I was
she
like,
went, oh.
oh.
So now every time I give her a little pinch and she goes, "Stop it." And another lady in
Oh, Joni.
Joni,
Yeah.
who's done a lot of shows and been in showbiz, but she isn't used to me, and she happened to be next to me one time instead of Luann, and I did it to her. Well, oh, she was quite taken aback. I was just being a stinker.
It's just those little things that,
But it makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And that was about, we were talking about that camaraderie. Wow, the camaraderie that came out of Stephen Sondheim's Follies.
Yes.
The cast of 45.
Yeah, we all keep in touch, and we all,
and
again,
I think we were so thankful because we were older that we got the opportunity to perform on
to
stage
do it again. Yeah.
And
The makeup, the heels, the costumes, it was just...
And then the movie,
remembering the choreography.
Remembering the choreography.
That we could pick it up.
And then the musical was about the theater closing down and coming back for a reunion.
Yep.
And it was very heartfelt, everything about it. And so it was, that was really fun.
It's very meaningful.
It was very meaningful.
And the fact that some of the other people respected the idea that we were from a time, the Showgirls, which Luann is trying to keep that alive. But, it's like the whole thing with Taylor Swift being the life of a showgirl. She's a girl in a show, but we were showgirls, which is a certain way of walking, of holding yourself, of moving. It's a whole attitude. It's a whole lifestyle.
And when you're wearing those costumes, it was wearing
Exactly.
those big costumes. You were limited in how much you could really move
Yes.
anyway. But there was an art.
There was a whole art to it. It's not just throwing it on and doing whatever. So, but and for her songs are about what it's like behind the costumes and the lights, which we all have that too. We're normal people with normal lives. And all kinds of stuff is going on behind all that glitter and glamour and everything. And that's what her songs were about, and we had a lot of that too.
But I must say that I was really thankful for that album because it brought back the showgirl.
Yes.
And she's a great role model.
Yes.
And she could have been a showgirl. I mean, she
Oh,
probably would have been a lead
definitely.
singer because she's like 5'10"
Beautiful.
and beautiful.
Yes. Great
She's
figure.
She's a good dancer.
Yes, she is.
And she's a storyteller.
Yes.
And our shows told stories.
Yes.
So I felt that like there was some
She'd have been great, yeah.
She would have been great.
Yes, she would.
Yeah. In fact,
Beautiful
did you see her
smile.
musical video, Ophelia?
No, I haven't yet.
If you get a chance, it's a story.
Oh,
And it's like
love that.
our shows. It's like a little snippet of how our shows were and telling a story. And then the showgirl costumes and the showgirl dancing. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that she got to wear some of the costumes.
Yes, and that she appreciated our style of costumes.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Hallelujah Hollywood.
That's it. Look at that.
Isn't that a
So
beautiful,
beautiful.
arm bracelet? Yeah.
All those
Lido. So
beautiful
these were
crystals
very,
from Austria.
standard. Yeah, Swarovski crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what else do you want to talk about? Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I was going to say when I got my master's, I had to do a 20-minute piece, and I decided to do it on Japanese. I used Japanese haiku poetry, and I wrote all my music, and I choreographed it, designed the costumes and the sets, and so I was very proud of, especially the writing the music that because I'd never done that before. I've sung all along, but never.
Did you get your master's here at UNLV?
Yep. They made me get another BA, and I'm like, why? But I did it, and then I went for the master's and that.
Wow.
And so I did that costume, and I had some of my dancer friends be in it, so
Nice.
that was a lot of fun. And I used the haiku poetry to tell this story, and also to, like it would be dewdrops. The music would go up and down like a dewdrop, and the movement would be up and down.
Oh, wow.
Stuff like that, which the audience probably doesn't. They just know it works. They don't
Yeah.
know that you're necessarily doing that, but
Yeah.
so that's something that I was proud of.
How long was that?
You mean when I did it, or how long the piece?
How long was the piece?
It was 20 minutes. So that's why there were times I saw people do stuff for like 20 minutes of modern, and it was the same stuff. So this went into 5 different sections. It was life, love, the wind, and we had these umbrellas and stuff. And then the music we did xylophone and vibes and a singer and flute. And so we were able to use that in different things. And for the butterfly was the next number, and we used these huge fans.
Yeah.
that I got, and at first they started out like a bonsai tree, and then at one point they became like the butterfly and stuff, and then at the end
Wow.
was Death, and he did like, karate stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
Gary played the part in this
Oh, Gary Gardia?
and then at the end he dies, and he gets laid down on top of us, and in black robes, and we open up with flowers, which was the first number, which was life. So it's like the full circle, and from death comes, new life, and
I love that.
yeah, so it was fun.
And Gary Gardia, what a dear
Oh.
man. I mean, he was the one that, he worked for
Nathan
Nathan
Addison.
Addison Hospice.
Yes.
And that's
He's helped so many people cross over. Our good friend Beatrice, when she passed, he was with her, and so many other people.
yeah.
And he's very good at it, and with, to help people through their grief.
Yeah.
So, and one other thing I did that I loved was Gene Evans was the person I was with for 29 years. He passed away about 16 years ago, but he always did things at the Hollywood Bowl, fireworks,
Oh, very
pyrotechnics.
nice. Yeah.
And the pyro was done to the music. And because I read music, I would put the cues in the music for him. And sometimes
fun.
I even got to call the cues, saying, now, now. So that was a lot of fun. I did that for lots of years until he passed.
I just went to the Hollywood Bowl. I haven't been in
Isn't it
50
wonderful?
years,
Oh,
maybe.
I love it.
And I went with Diane Christensen and Barbara Beverly, and we went and saw the band Chicago.
Oh.
And it was the end of the summer series,
That
and
must have been
all
so
the
great.
fireworks went off to
Yep.
to the music.
Yep.
It was
That's
so
what he did
magical.
before.
I loved that.
He's got a
band
plaque
name.
at the back of the bowl up by the trees there. There's a plaque for him and stuff. So
Okay.
he was there like 50 years. So
He was?
yeah, doing pyro and all that good stuff. So, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun to be able to. In fact, one day the girl who was calling the cues got sick, so he asked if I would do it, and I said yes. And the assistant conductor came back and he goes, "Do you want me to do it?" And Gene said, "No, she'll be fine." And he didn't know that I knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you sure you can do it?" And I said, "Well, I put the cues in the music, so I think so." So I did it. So that was fun.
So and you did a lot of things after the show too, because you worked with Ron DeCar and his event
Yes,
center
yes,
for years.
at the event center. So I got to be like M in the James Bond. We do all kinds of themed weddings. So for the James Bond wedding, I was M. "Hello, James. This is M speaking." So I did that, and I played Elmo. One lady wanted Elmo.
Elmo? You got to
Yes.
be Elmo?
I sure did. Hi, I'm Elmo. Yes, I did that for a wedding because she loved Elmo, and I had the big costume and stuff. And oh, what else? One time I even they needed to have for a Camelot. They needed, talking about funny stories. They needed to have the two guards that come in and stuff, the knights.
Yeah.
And one of the guys didn't show. So the swing, Miss Ramona, they put a beard on me, and I put the costume on, and they made me do it. So I did
They
it.
made me do
well,
it.
and the funny thing is, we had to like kneel, and I said, "Can we just lean, because my knees from all that dancing are pretty bad." I said, "If I kneel, I won't get up." This is, like maybe 5 years ago. And Kayla was like, "Yeah, you'll be fine." So we knelt, and it came time, and I couldn't get up. And he's playing Merlin, so I went. And he took my hand and, pulled, and I'm like, and I got up. And then he looked at the couple, and he said, "We hire the veterans."
We hired the veterans.
And they got a kick out of it, but I was like, but there I am with the beard. I even have a picture of it, of, him as Merlin and me with this beard.
Yeah.
Being a guy, so. And then I was Severus Snape or whatever.
Oh, yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yes, for
Yeah.
something, because they didn't have a guy, so I did the face and had the hair. And
I love it.
I've had a
Once
good
a
fun
showgirl,
life.
always a showgirl.
That's right. At the law office, because I worked at the law offices doing corporate work for about maybe 17 years. And one of the attorneys said, because, they didn't know what to do with me, but one time I came out of one of the rooms and I was laughing about something, and he goes, "You can take the girl out of the show, but you can't take the show out of the girl."
I love that.
So they
You
were,
can take the girl out of the show, but you can't take the show out of the girl.
that's right.
That's
I think they
That's
got a kick
Ramona.
out of me because, and I had to be careful at the law office because we, we're used to, we like live together in the show. You're used to pinching or
yeah.
touching, hugging, whatever.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that at the law office.
No, probably
So I'd be
not.
like, I had to be a good girl. But at least kept them on their toes. I think they got a kick out of
I'm
it.
sure they did. How could they not get a kick out of that?
So true.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was
Wow.
very fun.
Yeah.
We
I
just
knew it
get
would
to
be
talk
fun.
more, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, this is what we do normally anyway.
That's right.
When we get together over at Frank Coon's
And we
house.
get to do the Showgirl again.
Yes.
At the Smith
At
Center.
The Smith Center. With
Very
the,
Vegas Christmas.
with the Philharmonic. The
Yes.
12 legendary showgirls.
Yeah,
Well,
legendary.
I mean, did you ever think we would be able to perform on the Smith Center
Nope.
stage? Unbelievable.
That's what's so funny all these years later that I'm all of a sudden doing all this Showgirl stuff, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
in my 70s, so.
Yeah. And you still look fabulous.
Well, thank you.
Should we
Oh.
try, should we try on a showgirl hat?
Sure. I would love that.
These are from the Folies Bergère.
Ooh. See, I never was in that there.
No, I wasn't either. That fits your
Ooh,
head quite
it does
nicely.
fit.
Yeah. 'Cause they're, oh,
Whoops. There went an earring.
oh.
Of course, we would tuck in all the bangs and
I
everything.
know. I mean, we're doing what
We
always
laugh.
get
We
frustrated
laugh on the
about
strip when there's those girls with their hair hanging down. We go, "That isn't the way you do it." Are we stuck?
You might be on the microphone.
Sorry. Here we go.
Come over here.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
you're gonna
okay.
put your. I'm not gonna put my strap on.
Here, let me push.
I think you got the bigger one because this is like
This is pretty tight.
this is two. See, feels like
It's been a long time since
feels
we've
like
been
the
doing
old
this.
days when you had to swing and
Yes.
wear other people's hats.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
didn't fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did a little bit of swinging, but not as much as you.
Yep.
Okay, my hair's down, but Okay.
Yours is great.
All right. Well, thank you, Ramona, for coming on the Showgirl
Thanks for
Connection.
having me.
And,
Bitch.
and you again.